Where's Fielder? He's gone to the dogs.
Hey, want to thank you for joining the Gone to the Dogs podcast today. It's my wrap-up of the UKC Winter Classic coverage. It's Monday morning as I'm recording this and just arrived back home about 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Did a round trip from here on the Gulf of America up to Birmingham and then on to Batesville, Mississippi, and return. Altogether, it was better than 1,500 miles. So those of you who complain, I heard a guy on some podcast the other day saying that he had to drive 15 minutes to go hunting, and that, or 15 miles maybe, and that was an effort. Well, when you live in Florida, if you want to go to major coonhound events and you don't own a jet plane or a helicopter, you're going to spend some windshield time. But we had a good time. Went up to Nubbin's and overnighted with he and Becky, and then went on to Batesville. We had good weather all the way over. Got there on Thursday. Just afternoon, and was able to circulate around with several of the vendors as they were preparing for the weekend. Winter Classic is a 2-night hunt, and so there were a lot of vendors in the arena there, the Civic Center in Batesville. Just a great location for an event like this. There had been some concern about damage from ice storms, and we certainly saw the evidence along the highways as we traveled into Batesville, especially from Oxford on west. This is familiar stomping grounds for Nubbin and me because we go through this way on our way to the White River Refuge each year. But anyway, we just had a great time at the Winter Classic. Dave McVeigh was there after Trevor Wade had gone on to greener pastures. The UKC hired Dave for that position, and he's obviously going to be a big success. Very likable guy and very busy. I know he's resting this week, or I hope he is, because he had a big job, but there was a full complement of UKC employees there. And, they always do a super duper job. I enjoyed watching the shows. I got to go down and circulate in around the show area and talk to several of the vendors that were there on the floor as well. And just fun. That's why I go to these events. I'm too old to compete anymore, but I enjoy going and just fellowshipping with my family. These coon hunters and show people definitely are like family to me. And so I was able to record with 3 different guests at the Winter Classic, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. The first recording that we're going to hear will be my talk with 2 people that are very involved in the showing of coonhounds. This has become a very large contingency of the UKC overall numbers. And it's probably not surprising to know that nowadays the bench shows are mostly dominated by women handlers, and we also saw a lot of youth handlers at the Winter Classic that were doing a great job. They obviously have been paying attention. But we brought Andy Elburn was her maiden name. Many of you remember her as Andy Elburn. Her name now is Emery, since she and Keith were married, and they have a lovely daughter named Peyton. And anyway, Andy Emery shows red-bone dogs, and also Lisa Bedingfield. Lisa, I met when I went to AKC and began to attend the North Carolina bench shows, and she shows black and tans and English hounds. So I brought them to the microphone. I think you're really going to enjoy that, the first segment with Andy and Lisa. And then I was able to lasso a long-time friend that I haven't seen at the events in several years from down in Hogansville, Georgia, Reverend Robert Longshore. If you followed the Plot breed, you know Reverend Longshore very well. But he was a delightful guest and enjoyed being able to record with him as well. So that's our program for today, and I hope that you enjoy it, find it enjoyable. I want to remind you that our sponsor, W Hunting Supply, has a sweepstakes in which you can earn tickets for dollars spent. And, you spend $1, you get $1 ticket, and they're having several drawings. And without me messing it all up and confusing you, just go to dusupply.com and look it up. You're going to see pretty amazing how you can participate. You're going to buy these great products from Garmin and all the great apparel items they have, and virtually anything for your dog and for yourself. So go to dusupply.com, check out the sweepstakes there, which is a exciting new thing that they have going. There's a lot of things going on right now in the legislative field, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but we're going to jump in with both feet, and I'm going to call on some of the experts that I worked with when I was involved very much in that, with those battles, primarily in the state of Michigan, but all over the country. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. We're at the UKC Winter Classic on February 13th and 14th in Batesville, Mississippi. Welcome to the Gone to the Dogs podcast. This is Steve Fielder coming at you today live on Friday the 13th from Batesville, Mississippi. Yes, indeed. It's the UKC Winter Classic weekend here in Batesville, and we're high on the mezzanine level here overlooking the arena. The bench shows are in progress. The shows have been going on all day and will continue into tomorrow. And a little bit different in terms of our guests today. I've felt pretty bad about the fact that I haven't been giving the people that show coonhounds enough credit and enough exposure on this podcast. So today, I am super glad and proud to be able to introduce two people that I know to be very, very active, very successful in bench showing, people that I have known for quite a few years. And I just wanted to bring them on the program this week and talk about bench showing. The show people for years down, during my tenure with UKC and all that, they always had to kind of take a back seat to the hunts. But I don't think that's the case anymore. In fact, the show people are the ones that draw the crowds. And there's been an evolution from being the old days when Lester Nance put a 2x12 on two hay bales and said, boys, put them up here and let's see which one looks the best. We have evolved into a first-class bench showing program, especially through UKC, and of course the AKC has theirs too. But anyway, I've talked enough. I want to get my guests on the mic here and let you get to know them. I'm going to go from my right to left. since I've known Andy just a little bit longer than I have you, Lisa, because Andy was in the stroller when I first met her.
Right, absolutely.
At Autumn Oaks with your folks. Okay, Andy, I knew her for years, and I may slip up and call her Elbert. But her name now is Emery. Andy Emery is here. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. How about you, Steve?
I'm great. I'm
Good.
great. And as we were talking just a few minutes ago, I think I first met Lisa when I went to AKC. Of course, we were in North Carolina, and we were making the rounds to all the clubs there and trying to get to know everybody and try to encourage them to have UKC or AKC events. But anyway, we're really happy to have Lisa Bedingfield with
Thank you.
us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I was really surprised I was going to get you guys away from the show ring because you stay really busy. Let's start off with this kind of question. How many years, do you have any idea how many you've been coming to Winter Classic? Probably since the
Most
first
of
one.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of my
them.
years, probably.
This is I don't mean to strike a nerve, Andy, but as I recall, and of course your mother, Kathy, loved her dearly, and she has passed. But I believe the last time I actually talked and we always had long conversations, was at the Winter Classic over in Albany, Georgia.
Albany.
Yeah.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, could have been. Quite a great lady she was. And your grandmother, I met her too, because when we had Autumn Oaks at Logansport, the club there was so supportive there in Peru,
Yep.
and held appreciation bank dinner or picnic or whatever for the judges and all. That was all great. So I've been knowing you for quite a while. You think maybe you went to the first Winter Classic?
What year was that?
I think it was 88, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was 88.
I could have. I was born in 86, so Autumn Oaks, 86 was my first Autumn Oaks. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So
bet you were
probably,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. What was your first one, Lisa?
Probably, I would say 2003, probably.
Yeah.
2002,
Okay.
2003.
Yeah, well, that's about the time I met you because I went to AKC in 2004.
Yeah.
So I left PKC in November and went to Raleigh. And yeah, okay. Well, you guys hit the big ones. You go to all the major shows, the World Championship, the Grand American Show. Did I say Autumn Oaks? All the big ones. How does the Winter Classic show stack up, do you think, compared to the others? Honest Engine, you can tell me what you honestly think.
Well, everybody's going to tell you that, of course, Autumn Oaks, to be able to win Autumn Oaks or
Yeah.
to be able to win the Worlds is everybody's goal.
Yeah.
Okay. But Winter Classic is right there with them. You have we consider our four majors, of course, Grand American, Winter Classic, Autumn Oaks, Worlds, and then we have our breed days and state events. So everybody's your goal is to win Autumn Oaks National Grand or to win the Worlds, of course. But anytime you can win anything or an overall at a major event would be, she can answer to what it feels like to win major stuff. I can't. I'm always the bridesmaid, but I'm always the bridesmaid.
Well, you've always been in there, and
But that means everything.
we used to have an old hillbilly saying back in West Virginia: "The sun don't shine on the same dog's butt every day."
That's exactly right.
So your day will definitely come. I'm sure of that. Okay.
Well, I can't complain because, like I said, I've been blessed and won a lot of opposite sex at the majors, and I would take those any day.
Yeah.
So,
what's been your favorite? And you won world shows. You've won Autumn Oaks.
yeah, I won Autumn Oaks and the World twice.
Each of them twice.
Each of those twice. You know what I've never won? The Winter
Winter
Classic.
Classic.
You've never won the
So,
Winter
no,
Classic. Well, that's yet to be
It's
seen.
on my bucket list. I need some luck at
Now
the Winter
that'll be
Classic.
tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you guys then. Lisa? You told me you're showing a puppy this year. You've got. Do you have a junior or senior, a champion, grand, whatever?
I have three champions that I'll be showing.
Okay.
I have two English, male and a female English champion. I have a black and tan champion that I'll be showing tomorrow.
Okay, so the champions and grand show on Saturday.
Yes.
The registered, the pairs, and what else? The
That's
youth
it.
show, or
Pair-
they have actually a youth show, or is
don't
it
think
like
so.
Not here. Not
okay.
here. No.
All
They
right.
have the top 10
then top
this
10 will
evening.
be tonight.
Yeah, top 10 will be this evening.
Okay. What's been your favorite show to win, Andy?
Probably Autumn Oaks. It just has the most nostalgia, I guess, with it. So it's always the most
Yeah.
fun. Growing up, it was always the most fun to attend when I was a
Oh,
kid. And
yeah.
so, and I remember, and the first time I ever showed, we were in that dirt floored building
Oh,
over
yeah.
there where the vendors are. And Steve called the dogs.
Yeah, back in the day when I had a voice.
And so those were good memories. So that one's always
Yeah.
special to me. Autumn Oaks is always
Yeah, I
special to me.
remember we used that open-sided barn out there. They use it for vendors now
Yep.
because we didn't have the big building.
Right.
That was, and when we wanted to do a little more and all, we started a breeder showcase and all, we had to rent tents and put them up out front and all. But so that's come a long way too. But well, and I don't mean to point the finger at me, but I coined that term, the event where history's made. And to me, that summed up, Autumn Oaks. I
Yeah.
think everybody would love to win Autumn
Oh,
Oaks.
yeah.
I bet if I nailed down John Strickland, and he's won bukus dollars in money hunts all over. When he won Autumn Oaks with Apollo, I'm going to bet you if he tells me the truth, he's going to say that was my biggest win. Because I know he's won the trucks and all that. But it's the prestige of
Yeah,
the thing,
prestige.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the who's who is there
Yeah.
of the dog world. Every major player in every breed is at Autumn Oaks.
Yeah.
So when you win Autumn Oaks, you have beat the best of the best, and I think that's what makes it that much more prestigious because Worlds is great, and everybody, like I said, Worlds is an honor to win, but it's not the numbers. You still have a lot of the cream of the crop that shows up to Worlds. It's just a little different.
Yeah, it is.
And Autumn Oaks is we, now all of us pretty much camp for almost the whole entire week and on the grounds, and it's a big family reunion, and we have a big week, and then to top it off with the shows on the weekend, and like I said, I've won opposite sex there. I've never won it, but was able to watch her win it just a few years ago with Hank, and I was the proud mama bear. I'll tell you, it makes me happy to see the dogs that she bred at her home and that she's raised, and the quality, and to watch her win that, I was as happy as anybody in the whole building,
Andy, when you moved to North Carolina and you and Keith got married and all, you guys became close friends.
We were friends.
We were friends
prior,
before, yeah.
Prior to her moving to North Carolina, and we kind of introduced her and Keith. And
that's awesome.
Keith was a friend of Shane's,
Mutual friend, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
we kind of
that's
introduced them, and then we got her to North Carolina, and so what's what I was trying to figure out. It's been probably close to 16 years now that we've been friends. Real good friends. So wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah. Well, I know you treat Andy's daughter like your own, and
she is mine.
Peyton, and how she's grown. My gosh,
Yes.
She has.
these kids are so. And then your boys are.
My boys are
gone.
grown. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter now, and and the light of my life right now. I'll tell you.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Absolutely, and
Well, big shows have always been real special to me. I loved it back when I first started getting involved in UKC events. That's what I did. We didn't have any night hunts there in West Virginia, so we showed and all, and I always loved it. So when I went to UKC, I kind of wanted, I always had that desire to kind of step it up a little bit and make it, more more prestigious and all that stuff. And then we had the first UKC World Championship when I was there, show championship. That was in 1985 in Columbia City, Indiana.
That's where Gracie
And-
won.
Huh?
That's where Gracie won opposite sex in 2010.
In
It's
10?
Columbia City. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a good venue. That's
Yeah.
where one of the Redbone field reps, Fred Lubert. Did you ever know him? I'm sure your dad did.
Probably, yeah.
He was such a character. We were out there setting up the show benches before the show, and this was the first one. And I was like this, man. Everything's got to be perfect. I split my pants, and I had to go back to the motel and change. So while I was gone, this Fred Lubert, what a character he is. And he said, this is, and I can say this on the podcast, he got me a T-shirt made by one of the vendors when they put letters on everything. And during halftime or intermission or something, he said, well, I'm going to make a presentation. He gives me this shirt, and you know what it said? It said, I showed my ass at the UKC World Championship.
Literally.
Yeah. But anyway, that was funny. Okay, I got a question here for you guys. UKC's basically dropped our magazine, Coonhound Bloodlines, and American Cooner's gone away.
Nope.
So basically, we have to resort to the internet
To the digital world.
for the recognition. How does that feel? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, we've been doing it personally on your own for years. I mean, that's how you promote anything.
Sure.
I'm impatient. So the instant gratification
Oh, yeah.
of
Yes.
social
Well,
media.
You would have hated.
She is true.
Your dad
I appreciate it.
Yeah, your dad could tell you. Back in the day, there was only one World Hunt, and
Yeah.
The bench show wasn't much. They did have one, I think, but you had to wait till the November American Cooner came out, and the World Champions picture was on the cover, and that's how you knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you had somebody unless you went or you had somebody that
was there,
brought
right.
you back the news, Yeah, communication's crazy. Well, I don't know. Some of the guys that are, like my friend Mark Miller, thank you very much for recommending Mark as a good guy, good partner for me with our dog. But, he likes to go for those titles, and he likes to go for the historical or the current reproducers and all that. Where are we going to get that information now? Is UKC going to post it on their site, or do you know?
I don't
You have
know.
any idea?
I do think they have a standings.
They do have
Page.
and
Oh,
I
do
think
they?
and I think they have the availability now for all the producer information, because I know some of the black and tan guys have posted so and so's now on the reproducers top 5 or whatever, and so I'm assuming that it's on the website somewhere.
I gotcha. Well, looking back on things that we did along the way, we had the first bench show rules committee. I don't know if they still have that or not, but we actually had rules committee. We went through the rules and we rewrote a lot of them. I was there when we went from the long plank benches to the individual show benches, and all that. So that was kind of a milestone along the way. And well, what do you think let's go over the last 10 years, maybe we should say 5. How are the shows doing? Are they growing? Are they improving? Is there more interest, or about the same or less, or what do you think?
I think they're certainly growing. A lot of interest, a lot of different interest. It's probably not as intimidating for new people to take on a bench show than it would be to take on the night hunts.
Oh yeah.
So I do think it's good to, good way for people to segue into coonhounds if you have either sporting dog interest or showing other animals or whatever. So that's always good. But then there's always phases, I think, like we talked about before. The plot hounds are coming on strong again. The numbers dropped off for a while. Now they're picking back up again.
The first UKC world champion was a plot.
Yep.
Smoking Joe, Danny Peoples.
Right.
Yeah.
He won the first two, did
he won 2. He won the one with Joni, which I
Okay.
think was out of Joe.
Okay.
Which, that was tough for me because I'm a plot guy at UKC and everybody's like, yeah, right.
Well, you were safe in North Carolina, so that.
Yeah. Hey, there's the guy that started it all.
Oh, and the big winner for the day. He won best
Did he?
female
That's-
show today. He beat me.
Did he really?
He did.
With a
With a leopard hound.
His little leopard
That-
hound.
We're talking about Curtis Elbert, Andy's dad. He just walked by. He's got a beard that makes ZZ Top.
He wins the ZZ Top lookalike contest somewhere in Indiana every year.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
Great guy. I've known Kurt for a long time. Really appreciate his friendship.
But like when she was saying with the bench shows, I think the biggest thing that, like she said, it's not as intimidating for people to come in, but it's also, when I first started, the kids had to participate in the kids event.
Yeah.
They weren't. It's like it was taboo for them to even think about showing in the adult event. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. The kids are as good a handlers as we are, or some of them are better than some of us. And and I think that's great that they can just participate on our, with the adults and do their thing and be not just part of the youth world, that they can be a part of the whole entire coonhound show world and hunt and whatever. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've seen over the last really 10, 15 years is the inclusion of the kids in the adult side.
How was Peyton at first? Did she really want to do this since she was real little, or did you have to kind of encourage her?
No, she did. She's shown pretty much the whole time. She's always big into sports though as well.
Oh yeah,
she's a big softball player. So sometimes we have to, she's always had to kind of balance our time between sports and showing dogs and getting all the exposure to a lot of different things. But she's always enjoyed the dogs, and she's now confiscated my champion female.
Okay.
So I guess
now,
I'm down
is she
one.
on the bench now?
Yeah, she is.
Okay,
They got the red bone pair
we're
down there.
up on the mezzanine. We're quite a ways from it. I wish we could get closer. What's going on?
This is the finals for the pairs.
Overall pairs.
Yeah. This will be, you've got your black and tan, your walkers, your red bones, and your plots in the ring now. So I'd say the black and tans must have came back from the first cut.
Yeah, likely.
Okay, so the pairs, for the listeners that may not know what we're talking about, there's a special class where dogs are shown together, a male and a female. They're supposed to complement each other. In the old days, it was always up and down about that. Are they supposed to be the dogs that look the most alike, or is each individual dog supposed to meet its breed standard the best? Which way?
Originally, it was for breeding pair, is what I think they originally done it for. But you do want them to complement each other. You want the male to be, larger than the female, but you want them to be of close to the same color, structure. You want them to be a good match for each other.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a breeding pair anymore, but I think that's what it was initially started for.
Well, it's a class that doesn't carry any points. It doesn't. You don't get a title for it.
And I don't know of anywhere that it's actually written down
Walker dogs.
which way you are going. Are you looking for dogs that...
So Walker Dogs won that cut. Well,
Jason
the judge is a Walker
Janice.
man. Hiss, boo.
Jason and Janice Hunter looks like they would swim the pairs.
Oh, okay. Florida people.
Yep.
Yeah, that dog's name. Who would name a coonhound? Smashing in stilettos or
Stunning in
stilettos.
Yeah, those are good people. I'm getting back to what I was talking about, the show people. When you have a subjective situation where the judge, it's all up to that judge what he picks or she picks. There's always going to be the room for that. Oh, well, it's political and it's this and then. How have you guys overcome all that? Because if you listen to some people, they're going to just put that in your ear because, I don't show because there's a clique and all this kind of stuff. How do you deal with all that? I mean, does it bother you at all? Or
it doesn't bother me, but I have thick skin, so
yeah. I mean,
bother me a bit.
Honestly, you have to be able to, and you can almost take it. With Andy and I both being judges, also, when I step in a ring as a judge, you know, if I can lay my head down that night knowing that I did the absolute best job that I could do, regardless, you know, you're not ever going to make everybody happy.
No way.
And some days you're going to win, and some days you're not going to win. And some days your dogs are going to perform better than they do on other days. And some days somebody else's dog's going to perform a little better in that judge's eyes. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
and
we
you just
don't
have
know.
to just have to be able to go to the next one. You know.
You got to put all that noise.
And the longer
in the
you do,
background,
the
don't
longer
you?
you do it, the easier it is to do that. We still each have, you know, we still have situations that come up every now and then that'll just.
Oh yeah, that's human nature.
You
I
know,
keep hitting my mic here.
but you can't. You know, you just have to go on.
I think if you educate yourself, the more you're in it, the more educated you are about conformation or structure, or you know, just any type of animal structure. Probably makes you feel a little bit better if you feel like you do have a nice dog. You're presenting a nice animal. You're breeding a nice animal. You're probably a little more confident in what you're doing. The longer you're in it, the more experience you have. It probably makes you not as worried about what others are saying.
There's an assurance, a self-assurance. If you've done the time, you've done the breeding, you know what the standards are. You know whether this dog is. And when you guys reach your level in this thing, you're not going to put up some, some subpar dog.
Right.
You're just wasting your time if you do.
Exactly.
But see, I always look back to my experiences back in the old days. I can remember showing at the shows there in southern West Virginia. There's a guy brings his walker dog up on the bench. And I think I was showing against this dog. This dog would stand like a statue, but his front feet looked like sled runners. They were long and flat, and they pointed up. The toes pointed up. And boy, he would stack him and step back, and he had a curled tail. And they could not understand back in those days why you didn't pick my dog. He stood perfect. And I would say, well, yeah, but we're not judging statues. We're judging flesh and blood, okay?
And you have to be able to, as a judge, and I think when Andy and I both judged Autumn Oaks, I think we complement each other a lot because we do like the same structure, the same style of dogs. We know what each other likes. So being able to judge Autumn Oaks together, I had confidence in what she was going to send me, and I think she had confidence in what I was going to send her. But we both judge a dog. I don't, and it doesn't mean that there was the best acting dog in the ring on that day. Because I think we both made picks that day that the dog may not have been the best acting dog in the ring that day, but was it the best coonhound that was presented to us at that moment? Yes.
Yeah.
It's not always about how still a dog stands. They're dogs.
We've got the top one. Is it called top 10 or top 100?
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10
tonight. You guys got entries?
She does. I do not. Yeah, I do not.
I was fortunate I think it was year before last, I judged that. Well, there's 3 judges.
Right.
All right. And, they don't really give you a lot to work with. They just, just work out your own scoring system. And I don't know how they ever figured out what I was doing, But at any rate, it was really, I almost got emotional because down there on the floor with these dogs, and I know they're the best dogs in the country. They have to be. I mean, some old dog sitting behind a barn out there is not going to be here. Right. He may be the best in the whole world. He may be perfect, but he's not here. Right. But anyway, these dogs, to walk up, put my hands on them, look them over, and a lot of, I don't know, I want to ask you guys about this. Do you pick your winner when they first come in the ring ever?
I have a good idea of what I like. Coming in on the ground, I probably place them 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a good idea of what I'm looking for and what I see right away. I think first impression is very important, and I like my dogs to make a very good first impression. Lisa will tell you that my dogs on the ground, they go forward, heads up, stop and stack, and look at you. I want a good first impression. and that doesn't necessarily matter to me because I don't really care how well the dog shows either. But I usually have it narrowed down. Then putting my hands on once they get on the bench, I can get a little better idea. Maybe number 2 does move up to number 1, or when you see them stacked and start your silhouette judging, you profile
and then
judging.
Once you've done that, that's when you're eye catcher. So you're going to file that dog back here and say, that's a good dog, but let's see if I can break them down. Let's see if there's any.
Well, and I have seen some that I thought there are sometimes you have a dog that moves fairly well on the ground, but then they get put on the bench and you're just like, how was that the same dog that just was just presented to me on the ground? So you have to take both into account. But yes, we both really like our groundwork, and you can't lie on the ground most of the time.
Right.
The ground's going to tell the truth.
Yeah, I love the movement. I love to watch them move, and that's probably, I don't judge much. Back in the day, I sat at the podium and watched a lot of dogs that read about and all, some really awesome dogs. But I had a point I was going to make to you there about judging, but I probably forgot that. That'll come back around later. But judging is always been very humbling to me. I know what I was going to say. Back in the old days, if you guys can remember, you won't remember this. There were actually judges that would put the dogs on the bench and say, well, that dog was the best, but I broke him down. Man, I kept him up there till he finally had to start fidgeting and
I've showed him those shows.
Feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
You stand long enough
what are you doing?
And it's like the judge can't make up their decision what they want to do, so they're going to let you stand there till one of you break. We've all been in that position. So
that's
when
terrible.
We tighten and squeeze and pick and prod on those dogs, their muscles are tense. It's very much like holding a plank. And how long can we hold a plank?
Exactly.
Not long.
Yeah.
So,
this is not an endurance event.
Right. No, it's not. It's not about which dog breaks last. No. It's the one. It's about the structure of the dog. It's not. It's
really
not about.
Is. I had a guy one time. I was judging the West Virginia State Championship years ago. And I there was a guy named Joe Brown up in West Virginia that had a real good plot. He was a good one. And I picked Joe in that show that day. And this guy came out and he got in my ear, and man, you didn't even look at a walker dog today. I said, man, I've got spots in front of my eyes. I've looked
seen
at so many
walker dogs
today. Yeah. And finally I said, look, buddy, all I can tell you is it was my decision today. Get your license, do the apprenticeship, get out there, and you can make the decisions and take all the grief. But today,
well, and people need to look at it as an honor instead of a, it's such an honor to judge anything.
Oh, yes.
Like this. And, we've both judged here, and she judged the last one in Albany, Georgia.
The last one they had.
And I judged the first one here.
Oh, how about that? That's cool.
Yeah, she judged the last one in Albany, and I judged the first one here. And we got to judge Oaks together, and hopefully we'll get to do some more in the future of some kind. But
I remember seeing Andy judge when I went, I guess after I went to AKC. We had some shows up in northern Indiana, somewhere in those shows up there, and had the benches out in front and the lawn out there. It seemed like it was like a hillside or something.
Maybe at Columbia, at the clubhouse at Columbia City, maybe?
I think it may have been, yeah. But, you guys, are you, how do I want to say this? You've told me you think the show situation's pretty good hand. I mean, it's growing pretty well. How well do you know the new guy at the UKC, Dave McKay?
We know Dave very well. We've known Dave for years, and Danielle, we finally actually have a bench show program coordinator.
She's from West Virginia,
Well, I have a house in West Virginia.
I know you do. I asked Shane, I said, who are you? Are you a hillbilly or are you a Tar Heel? Which is it?
But I think that's a great move for the bench show side to actually have somebody designated as the bench show coordinator position in UKC. and it's going to elevate that as well. And then, Danielle and Dave, I have a lot of respect for, and I think they're both going to give us everything that they have to continue to grow what we're doing, and I think that's great.
Well, I think people that demonstrate that they're willing to work, they're willing to be involved and stuff, and that's what I saw in Danielle before. She's worked with the Grand American and whatever, but
she gives it her 100%. So 100+%. She is all in when she does something. So I think it's going to work out well.
Absolutely. She's from West Virginia. What can I say? Well, I don't know. I'm just really glad that you guys took the time to sit down with me here. A busy day today. We've done about 30 minutes. I mean, I can go another 30 if you guys are.
I think we need to feed Andy before the top 10 tonight. She gets a little hangry on us every now and then.
I definitely understand that. Well, are you having fun this year? Is this a pretty good one, or is it kind of?
Oh, yeah. No, this is a good one for us. I won 2 breeds today.
I think the numbers are good. I had 80 pre-registered for the weekend, and I think she said there was 73 total registered dogs
for the
today.
Top 10 today?
Oh, no, just for they were 80 dogs pre-registered for both days, and then the numbers went up to, she had 73 total registered dogs for today for here. That's a good number.
Yeah.
I think there was every breed had decent numbers, 1 or 2 or more in each breed, which sometimes you may not even have a representative of a breed or something. So I think it's a good show this weekend.
Good. Yeah. Well, on my way up here, I drive right through Albany, Georgia, and that's where we had the first one. And I can remember the very first day we walked onto that fairgrounds, Fred Miller and me, and we walked it all. Well, no, it wasn't the fairgrounds. It was out at the community center outside of town out there, south of town. And we walked and we looked and we measured off, is there enough room for vendors, all of this stuff. And then to come through there, it kind of hit a little nostalgic note for me. But then to come here and look at this beautiful arena, it's just amazing. You got everything under one roof. If let it rain, it might snow.
Right. We've been down here in the ice before.
But anyway, it's great to see things growing and doing well and healthy. And I love coonhounds, and you guys are really, you're the gateway. You're, like you said earlier, you're bringing these kids in.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, look at this. Look at these young people with the Walker puppy.
Their puppy, little baby.
She's styling, isn't she?
Yeah, she's like, look at me. Look at me.
Got her little hot pink collar on.
Oh, yeah. Well, Andy and Lisa, that's still your name.
It is. Yes.
It's been delightful to talk to both of you.
Yes,
I love you both to death.
And we love you too. It's been a lot of years.
For sure. Let's hope it'll be a lot more.
A lot more. Exactly.
Somebody asked me one day, have you been a coon hunter all your life, Stephen? I said, not yet.
Exactly.
Well, thank you once again, Andy Emery and Lisa Bedingfield from the great state of North Carolina.
Yep.
Thanks for sitting in with us, and enjoy it. And I'll be watching for some more winners.
All right. Hopefully
Fingers
we'll have
crossed.
some luck tomorrow.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, honey.
Well, folks, that was an enjoyable interview with Lisa and Andy from the show dog side of the UKC Winter Classic. And now I'm very excited about the opportunity to bring to the microphone a gentleman that I have known for many, many years. And he and I got to know each other through our mutual love for the Plot Hound. And I have Mr. We'll call him Reverend Robert Longshore from Hogansville, Georgia. And Robert is ripe 90 years old. Is that right, Robert?
Yes, sir. This year.
90 years old. Yeah. And you're still hunting.
Yes, sir, full time, yeah.
Still going at it.
Yeah.
That's great. 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't get to interview him, but there's a gentleman from Mississippi named Winston Aaron, Wimp Aaron, Walker Dog man.
Yeah.
He was in his 90s, and I interviewed him here. We talked for a long time and really enjoyed it. And I've got a friend that's on the podcast pretty often from Pennsylvania, you may have heard the name Fred Moran, the Redbone Man up there.
Oh, yes, I know
And
Moran.
Fred is going to be, I think he's going to be 89 within a week or so. Well, anyway, you look great. I saw you at the MPHA booth down here in the National Bloodhound Association. You're wearing a black cowboy hat, and I like to wear a cowboy hat too. Of course, you still got hair. You got a head full of hair, and I look like a peeled onion. Well, Robert, we go back a long ways, but when did you first get involved with the Plott breed?
Steve, I've been in the hound business since I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, in our community, if the wife was disabled and couldn't cook, the ladies in our community would take food to the family. So the Hurd family, John Hurd, his 3 boys, Aubrey, Buddy, and let's see, Aubrey, Buddy, I know that his name come up, Herschel. So these boys here were friends of mine, a friend of the family. I was only 6 years old. But that afternoon, Mother had me to go over to John Hurd's. And while I was there, they invited me to go. The boy said, let me show you out something behind the barn. I went back behind the barn, and this beautiful black hound was laying there, some of the beautiful puppies, which was big enough to take away from Mama.
Huh?
So they told me, they said, Daddy, I'll give you a dog if you want one. So I told Mama, and she said, well, you know, your dad is a bird hunter, and he don't have hound dogs.
Yeah.
So I went and whined, got back home, and when I got back home, Daddy had to get up and go to work early. So what happened was, it was for me to, he said, what's that boy whining about? She said, he wants one of them hound dogs, puppies that John Hurd's got. And he said, hush, boy. Said, when Neil had pups, I give one of them. I said, I don't want them old bird dogs, but Daddy has some tough dogs, bird dog. And I did. I had a little 20 gauge. I could hit my side. I pick it up, but I wanted one. So he finally got out of the bed and went down, and I got that black dog. And he was a black and tan. He was a beautiful dog. And I grew up. And I'd hunt. When I was 8, I'd hunt by myself. And finally, I would skin everything with trees, possum, skunk, whatever, dig them out, and took them to Griffin, Georgia, to Plott Skin and Hide Company. And I saved up a little money doing that. But anyhow, when I left to go in the Army, and I named him Bumperjack.
Bumperjack.
People don't know what a bumperjack is.
Not anymore.
You know
Cars
what it
don't
is.
have bumpers on them anymore. Yeah, but I know that's an unusual name, though.
look at the people that got killed with it. But anyhow, that's what we call him, Bumperjack. And at that time, and he was a tremendous game dog. And I hunted him, and I kept all these years. Me and him was just hand in hand, and my cousin Bobby hunt with me, and we did that. So we went to, when I left here for Korea, I was 17 years old, I volunteered, and I left home.
17 years old, you went in the Army.
Yeah, 2 months after I was 17, I shipped out for Korea.
Wow.
1951, 52,
Yeah.
53.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it was a bad thing for me to leave my dog, because I loved to go. The time I was 8 years old, I was hunting by myself. And, 10 years old. And they had hunts back then, the ACHA. I wasn't very smart at it, but I'd play my part. And I won a lot of trophies with old Bumperjack. But when I left going home, and my sister kept him. I looked at him. 3 years later, she lived up in high steps, and she looked after him for me, and I went to get him. And I stepped out and started up the road there. He was laying on the front porch. It must have been 20 steps down, way up. You know how it used to be on the house high. Mm-hmm. And he saw me with a thump in his tail. She told me he's nearly dead. But anyhow, and when I spoke his name, and he took about 4 steps at a time, like knocked me down. But the fact of business is that after I've got out of the Army, he's 14 years old now.
Oh.
Yeah. and I hunted him hard.
When you say now, you mean at that time when you got out of the Army.
Yeah. When that was in 1956.
Okay.
Yeah, and he come off the porch. But anyhow,
I was 10 years old at that time.
I hunted him, and I did, and I went right back to hunting, and hunted him, and we did real well, and he did live about 2.5 more years. Hunted him. Then I wound up with a Gosset hound. You remember that?
Yeah, that's
long
black and haired, long hair.
Oh, yeah. And he wound up being a national grand champion, and made big newspaper articles and things. I did. But it was a love of the woods and the hunt that I love. And I hunted a lot of different dogs. I hunted the southern rim of Grand Canyon in 57, 58, 59, and 60, when Kirby Lilly, the grandson of Ben Lilly, he would get clients, and then the other side we'd get clients, and then we'd get bounty, and then not only that, the ranchers would pay us because for those.
So you went out there now, and you hunted with the grandson of Ben Lilly.
Yes, sir. Nephew.
Nephew.
Yes,
Ben Lilly.
brother's boy. Yeah.
I got you.
Ben
Wow. I
Huh?
never knew that about you.
Yeah, I did. And when
So you just moved out there.
no, I never moved out there. How about being? I was in the Army, and we were doing guerrilla.
okay.
We were doing guerrilla warfare training at Fort Polk, Louisiana. It was Camp Polk then, in that swamp. And my sergeant, he liked me playing the guitar and singing, and we went over to Louisiana hayriding.
Yeah.
That was there. Elvis, Johnny Cash, all of them were great friends of mine. But anyhow, I met Kirby, and my sergeant was real legal with me, and I hunted with him, some with his dogs. And I fell for him, and we were close till he died.
Were those mostly blue tick type dogs?
Huh?
Were they mostly blue ticks or red tick type dogs?
All mixed up. And breed dog, we bred good to good. And
I see.
go ahead.
No, you're. Oh yeah, keep talking. I'm just fiddling with
But
the
I'm
knobs
just telling you
here.
how I got started, and when I did, I got excited about it. And but I lived in Georgia, and then after I got out of the Army, I started hunting with him. He had a contract with the government, and he'd get back. He was a bounty hunter, and then I did. We split. We would get us a client. We would split that, and we get many lines that we wanted. Sometimes we'd pile up, and it was a tremendous thing. And I got to
Now,
hunt.
I'll interrupt you here. You're hunting these lions on dry ground.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in a desert type country.
Yes, sir. Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
On the southern rim of the Grand Canyon.
Oh, okay. You
Tuba
said that.
City. That's Navajo.
Oh, okay.
A guy named Claude, he run a general store. There's an Indian called him Claude because he had a necklace with all kind of claws on it. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hit that.
That's all right. You're fine.
But anyhow, that's where we got started hunting. I did with him. We got to be great friends in hunting, and I kept at it to 60, and then I was coon hunting with ACHA 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was with UKC when we talked about having 2-hour hunts.
I know
They were
60s.
3. Huh?
I thought they were 60s.
Yeah, that's what John Witt said. He said if you're a coon hunter, you ought to want to hunt 4 or 5 hours instead of less. But yeah, I remember. I don't think I ever hunted a 4-hour hunt, but I hunted a lot of 3-hour
It
hunts.
was over ACHA, and it was all non-hunting judges.
Oh, yeah.
If they barked at the moon, they scratched them. They think he's something off game. But that's where I got started. I did, and but along as I was hunting and still hunting, I had all breeds of dogs. I've hunted plenty of walker dogs. Man said I need to hunt a walker dog. When I was competition, I had the only plot there till what's his name come down there. Had the my old buddy, he's passed.
Who was it? Howard Chester?
Howard Chester, yeah.
Yeah.
Me and him, we'd hunt 3 walking dogs every time we hunted.
Yeah.
But anyhow, but I'm not putting the dogs down. I like the great dogs on dogs, but I fell in love with the plot hounds.
Yeah.
And how I did that, there was a guy who had a plot hound for sale. And I never own a plot, not a full plot. And I went inside him and he showed out. And the guy won $1,000 for him in 1967.
That's pretty salty. That was a big price.
$100 to get you a good dog.
Yeah.
And man, the dog was fantastic. And then I said, I give you $500 all I can. He said, we might as well go to the house. I said, no, let's hunt again. And I told them boys, my son Paul and Dorsey, the guy said, if this dog goes tree again, I'm going to buy this dog. But it did come down to $800. And that's my first plot dog.
I see.
But that dog was so tremendous. He was out of Berlin King, Tree Talking Casey.
Was he? Yeah.
And it went back to Cascade Big Timber.
Oh, okay.
Out of the female.
Uh-huh.
And I got him, and for long, I got me a nothing.
Yeah.
For long, I got me a nothing. Before long, that's all I've had.
That's all you had. Well, when I first met you, all you had was plot dogs at that time.
I've been straight plots since 1976, nothing else. I ain't never inbreed. They never cost my plots out with nothing. And they're great, tremendous dogs, and I love them dearly. And they said beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, so when I'm looking at them, I think they're beautiful.
Well, of course you do. And you're feeding them, and you're the only one that's got to like them. But I know that they're good dogs because I've heard the stories from other people that have hunted with you and all for years and all. Well, I think that it's a great story that your longevity in the sport to be at it for this many years.
Yeah.
When were you called to preach the gospel?
I really didn't think I really was a preacher, but I had a lot of friends in jail. So they told me I could go to jail and preach. So the sheriff allowed me to, and I finally wound up being a licensed state chaplain. Okay. I would take prisoners that somebody died in the family, they deputized me, and I never lost a prisoner, but they would let me preach in the prison. And finally they'd get out and people would come, they'd come to my house and everything, so I finally had to get a building. And some of the people I had, people didn't, I mean, you know, I guess where Jesus did down there's a sheep show.
Anywhere.
Up in the tomb where the wild man was.
Yeah.
But we've been blessed, and I started preaching. I started pastoring in 1973.
Okay. That was the year I came home from Japan. I was in the Air Force and was in Japan for 3 years. And that's when I came home, went to Plot Days in August of that year, and that's when I met Fred Miller, and that's how I ended up going to work for UKC. Well, that's great. All right. You're also a musician, a singer, guitar player.
Yes, sir.
Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah, I play the piano. I play several instruments,
Now, as you know, we're in the arena here, folks, and occasionally the mic, they're going to be calling these dogs out pretty soon, so we got to hurry. All right. Well, did that start playing in church pretty much at the meetings and stuff, or how did you do that from the time you were a kid?
Oh, I played in bars, honky tonk for years.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I played Louisiana Hayride, and back in 19, I worked I was a studio bass player there. Bill Black played for Elvis, but he was a studio Black that played the bass, and I'd fill in for him on the time I got to go there. And I've met a lot of guys, and guys come, and a lot of friends of mine. I did, and I've been a chaplain at Music Row for years, and a lot of the musicians. I got one of my boys here to tell you this. I don't want to tell you. And I I got a brown car in San Quentin prison. I preached there. I had a boy come to my church. He was going to steal a car, rob a bank, go back to California, but God arrested him in the church. His name was Michael T., and he plays that there movie about the brotherhood. bad stuff. But God changed his life, and he got to be a preacher. So we started preaching and all down. Started Paradise, come on down to Oakville, Palermo, and stopped down to Fairview, where you go into San Francisco, and got a brand car that was in San Francisco, and did a concert for them for the aftercare, and then all that.
You did a concert for who?
For the state, for the. Johnny Cash did it. Why can't I do it?
Oh, well, why not, right?
some of the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that here, and there's a couple of CDs. I think you're donating some of these to the Plot Association. Here's The Longshores, Let Me Be a Reason, and that's with your son, right?
That's my son, Paul, yeah.
Paul, okay.
He's a plot man, too.
Look at that. Western attire, got into White Horse. He's a plot man too, huh?
Yeah.
He's following Daddy's footsteps.
Well, he's getting up in years now, but but his grandson, his son, which is my grandson, is who passed in the church now. I'm just a senior officer in the church.
Well, that's great, and I'm looking forward to hearing these myself. Yeah,
most of these songs I write myself. You're not going to hear them. But I don't play them but gospel music.
Yeah, I understand that.
See, God changed my life in 1900, and I went to a meeting to give my heart and life to God in 1971. And that being my wife had been in church. We passed 54 years.
Wow.
But we've been married 62 years. But she's home now. Done called me and told me she loved me twice and missed me.
Ah, man. That's a fantastic story, Robert. Well, what was your all-time favorite plot dog that you had down through the years? Did you have one that you really remembered?
I got old Cody here on the back, and Cody really goes back to Cole Glazier's Chuck.
Yeah.
Do you know J. Cole Glazier?
I did, and I hunted with Chuck at Plot Days.
But now that's where Cody come, third generation, out of Ricky's dog down in Texas. His name was Crazy Cody. Named him Georgia Cody.
I see.
Yes, sir. And he finished out.
Little story for you. There was a guy named Frank Maddox at Flora, Illinois, that always called the dogs out at Plot Days.
Yeah.
Blue-eyed guy. Had the bluest eyes I've ever seen on a guy. He was gray hair. But he was handling Chuck for Jake.
Jake's Cole
And
Glazier.
I was hunting a dog I had called Bronco that was out of Cascade Timber. And then Charlie Shortridge was hunting a female named Queen.
I know the dog, yeah.
She was the mother eventually of Sizzling Heat, the plot world champion.
Yeah.
We hunted that night a 3-dog cast, and Bronco and Chuck were just hunting out of the world. They're just knocking the back out of the dark. And Queen was just fooling around over here in this woods. She'd come by us and fool around, sit down. Go over and look at a coon. Here, go on a little ways, same thing. It's tree 2 now. Yeah. And our dogs did get in. They come in finally and backed her on one coon. She beat our eyes out that night. But that Chuck was a good dog. I knew he was. I knew a lot of people that hunted with him. And I really love
Jake. He's a great guy.
Super guy. Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. My dad did too. He loved to talk to Jake.
Oh, you're a wonderful dad. Holman, yes, a great man. I'd sit down and talk with him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure,
and R.C. Roark and all the old timers.
Yeah.
All these old timers are really friends of mine. Yeah, but my smoke dog, he's one that won so much. He's in everything. He has a record with AKC that'll never be broken his head because it's the first plot that finished out senior grand night.
Yeah.
And different things that he did. Of course, UKC, I hunted UKC. But I just want to tell everybody that it's a great day for me to be associated with the National Bloodhound Association again.
Yeah.
No, and I'd invite anybody on the sound of my voice. If you don't belong to it, I'll tell you what you do. You join, and I'll give you one of my CDs. Just let me know.
There you go, folks. There's an incentive to join. Yeah, I joined way back when I was a kid. You talking about those older fellows like R.C. Rourke and all. When I was a kid going with my dad to Prot Days, I would sit at the table down here, like where your nephew here is sitting, and I would just listen. You know, we grew up in the generation, kids didn't go and sit down at the table with the adults and start running their mouth.
Yeah.
We would just listen, you know, and I heard all those great plot men of the past,
Great
you
plot
know.
men, yeah.
And, excuse me, I've still got a little bit of that effects of my voice problems. I've been having them all winter. But anyway, that was, you know, my foundation with the breed, and I loved it, and I always loved to go to Plot Days because my dad and I, we did everything together, you know, and that was so important. Well, Robert, I am just so thrilled that we've had the opportunity really to sit down and talk for a few minutes, and it's so rewarding to know that you're still active and that you're still got your dogs. And how many plots you feeding right now, you think?
I'm feeding 14 adults.
Well, 14 adult dogs.
But I'll be back after the plot training season's open down Swamp, and I'll be putting them back tree again.
Yeah, you'll be bear hunting some too, don't you?
Well, that is the bear. It's training season for bear. We hunt bear. The kill season is the last 2 weekends of September, and the first 3 weekends of October.
I got you.
Yeah, but we had 2 nice bears. One this past year, 1.583 and 1.486.
Those are nice bear. Those are real nice bear. That's the kind of bear you get over on the coast of North Carolina.
What you need to do, you come by the place. I got some good sausage, and still got some.
Oh boy,
I got some
bear sausage.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my buddy that he and I own a dog together. We got a little plot dog called Fever, and his name is Mark Miller up in the mountains of North Carolina, and he likes to bear hunt, and he always has bear sausage. Anytime I go by his place, I get some bear sausage for breakfast and love it.
This boy right here, been with me since he's about 12 years old. How old are you now?
26.
He's a sergeant in the military.
Oh,
what he is
National
Guard,
I wish we should have put a mic on him there, but thank you for your service. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Well, Robert, I guess we better wind this thing up before this old voice gives out on me. You're stronger than I am, fella. You only got me about 10 years, but
I'm excited, man. I'm excited about the National Bloodhound Association, and I'm excited about people being excited. And Jennifer just got me all fired up.
Jennifer, we call her Gibson. I don't know if I guess that's her last name still. It was a little, as you know, I'm just talking to the audience.
Yeah,
Johnny and Henry.
She got a picture of me and you and Johnny, and she carries it all the time.
At the water race pond there at Holmesville, Ohio.
Man, you were standing there over a fence.
Yeah, it was at the water race pond at Holmesville, Ohio, at Plot Days. I remember exactly.
Homerville,
Yeah, Holmesville.
You was with me up in Homerville.
Yeah. She's really helped the association. She's been helping with the yearbooks and so forth and all. But great family.
Well, I feel real honored to sit here with you, and you've been a working man, and I don't know if anybody ever covered the territory you kind of ever could, because I think every form and fashion of coon hunting that goes on in the United States, you've been part of it. And it's that's because of you. It's your intelligence and because of your involvement. And I want to congratulate you.
Thank you, Robert. That means a lot to me. I love you. And you're my brother. You're my brother in coon hunting and in plot dogs and just think about how much time we're going to have up in heaven. Holman, he's probably already talked the Lord to death. You know, and he'll be relieved when he sees us coming. And we'll take some pressure off. I'm going to make that trip, aren't you, brother?
I am too. I have reservations.
I do. That's for sure. Well, folks, I'm just going to shut this thing down for now. That's probably going to wrap up our segment from the Winter Classic this year. And thank you so much for listening in. Our sponsors, W Hunting Supply. Anything you need in the line of hunting for your dogs, for yourself, your apparel. They've got books. They've got everything for a houndsman. W Supply at dusupply.com. And I also want to thank my friend Big Mark Zapp, as that Predator calls, and for his continued support of this podcast. From Steve Fielder and Reverend Robert Longshore here at the arena at the UKC Winter Classic in Batesville, Mississippi. We'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you down the road.